Hello, ladies and gentlemen, 'tis I, Michael A. Grimm, aka the Multi-Voice. I have many voices, but one opinion. And it's October. You know what that means? Nostalgia-ween! Now, since October is coming, my favorite holiday of the year, that means Halloween is coming up soon. And, in case you guys are wondering about my audio Halloween special, Phantom vs. Dracula, I almost got everybody. Right now, I'm just going to be putting in some sound effects into it. And I almost got everybody. There are a few who haven't done their lines yet, so I'm still waiting for them if they have enough time to do it. And right now I've been listening to if any of you remember, my last video was a Doctor Who episode. Big thanks to Cooper Spaniel who does most of the who written and edited all the Doctor Who episodes with my doctor. And, of course, I'm going to be working on another Doctor Who, except this time it's going to be written by John Allen, and I'm going to be working on editing that as well. And right now I got this, Doctor Who at a Time. Out of all the Big Finish Doctor Who audios, I decided to get this one because it has two of the icon doctors in the world, David Tennant and Tom Baker. And it's not often that you get a Doctor Who with Tom Baker and David Tennant together at all. So this is like the first time they both finally worked together. And I loved it. I mean, I just got done listening to it on my Blu-ray player. And I do enjoy it a lot. And of course, some of you may know that I'm working on a huge Doctor Who event called Disturbance in the Multi-Voice. And, I mean, I gotta tell you this. If somebody told me if I'd be doing a huge Doctor Who event with all of my friends who plays their own doctor and create a huge Doctor Who event, I wouldn't believe it. I mean, if somebody told me I'd be able to do that, I just would laugh and scoff and say, yeah, like that's ever going to happen. But much of my surprise, it happened. And I got some of the doctor's lines. There are others that I'm still waiting. And for those of you who are wondering when I'm going to be getting that going, I'm going to say that probably during the New Year's, maybe before, maybe after New Year's, who knows. But right now, forget about my Doctor Who event. Let's get into the today's episode of Multi-Voice-Oween. Now, what is it? Ah, yes. I thought I'm going to start off by reviewing the very, 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 very first horror movie ever made. And the movie I'm going to review to you today is, of course, House of the Devil. No, not the 2009 version. I never seen that one. I'm talking about the 1896 version. Right here. Now, of course, it was filmed in France, so it was called Le Mourir des Diable. L'amour du diable. Excuse my French, but it just, sometimes I try to pronounce French word. Now, of course, when they brought it into America, they call it the Haunting Castle, while in the UK they call it the Devil's Castle. But it was created by a French movie magician who goes by the name of Georges Melies. Yeah, that's right. The same guy who made the very, 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 very first science fiction movie, A Trip to the Moon. And for those of you who haven't seen my review to The Trip to the Moon, you should stop this video and check out A Trip to the Moon review. I did a pretty good job reviewing that. Now, bear in mind, there are going to be some spoilers ahead. So, for those of you who haven't seen the movie, you should stop this video and watch the movie right now, because the movie is like 3 minutes long, because it's not a long movie. Back in the old days when silent films were made, they never made the movies any longer. They only made them short. Well, except for, oh, what is that German, movie director's name? Walter von Stroheim. One thing I heard about Walter von Stroheim is he makes his movies so darn long, it's like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or maybe 6 hours long. What kind of guy who makes a movie that long? I mean, damn. Hold my calls. But anyway, let's get to the story, shall we? Now, for a first horror movie, guess what kind of horror icon they used for that horror movie? Now, you're not going to be expecting a vampire or a Frankenstein monster or some slasher with a mask or some zombie. They're going to use one of the horror icons who is the personification of all evil. And the only one I'm talking about is Satan. Yeah, that's right. The devil. Beelzebub, Mephistopheles. In the Marvel Universe, he's called Mephisto. On the DC Universe, he's called Lucifer Morningstar. And on Star Trek, they call him Feklar. And of course, he's called All Scraps, Morningstar, Lucifer, Satan, the Devil, Spanish, Diablo, and I guess in France, it's Diable. And how the story goes, you see a haunted house, and out comes a bat. And a bat shows up, and it transforms into the devil. Now, he makes a cauldron appear, and one of his henchmen starts starting up the fire to that giant cauldron, and out comes a witch in white shows up. Now, the witch appears to be a beautiful woman, and he had her hidden until 2 cavaliers showed up. Now, the 2 cavaliers found this house to be very spooky, and that one henchman, he just appeared right behind them and started poking them in the keisters with his pitchfork. He appears and disappears in the other direction, poking them in the butt, and then disappears, and that's when that one cavalier decided to run away. And that's when a bat shows up, and out comes the devil. And that one cavalier tried to be brave, holds out a sword, but the devil disappears. And of course, out comes... let's see. And then there's like 4 or 5 ghosts shows up, hunting the crap out of him. Oh yeah, and there's even a skeleton that showed up, and the cavalier decided to... Yeah, cavalier showed up, holding out a sword, ready to take down the skeleton until it disappeared, and then a group of witches, like 3 or 4 of them showed up, and then they all turn into witches. At first, they start looking all young and beautiful, and then it turns old. And then when the whole witch starts doing their circling spell, all of a sudden his friend showed up. The second cavalier who ran away, he showed up to help his friend. And of course, his friends started distracting all the groups of witches. And all of a sudden, he jumps out the balcony. So I don't know if his friend is dead or not. So now our hero has to deal with the devil with his sword until it turns out that his sword is no use. It doesn't work. Until all of a sudden, near the end, the cavalier grabs a crucifix. And then the devil was like, and then the devil disappeared and the movie ends. That's it. I mean, nothing spectacular, no... anything like that. I mean, the Cavalier grabs a crucifix, shine it right in front of the devil, and the devil just disappears. That's it. You know, that's a lot more different than the aliens on the trip to the moon, where the astronaut grabs an umbrella and he whacks the alien with his umbrella, and then they all poof into smoke, like their blood is full of nitroglycerin. But to this one, in this story, it's different. I mean, it's the beginning of what horror movies are now becoming today. Before Thomas Edison made Frankenstein. And in case any of you want to see the movie, it's in public domain, so it's not hard for you to find it. You can easily either find it on YouTube or in any channel that it has a public domain movies. For those of you who can stand silent films, and of course there are no dialect. I mean, there are no subtitles, no subtitle cards, so you don't have to hear people talking or see people talking. But they say that action speaks louder than words. And sorry that this is pretty short, but hey, that movie was like over 3 minutes long, so I decided to bring in more info I could, like talking about my Doctor Who and such. So this is the beginning of the Multi-Voice-Oween. For any of you who enjoyed this review about the House of the Devil, 1896, please leave a comment down below, hit like and subscribe for more. As for me, I need to get the Halloween special going, because there's going to be a Halloween special review along with the audio. So some of you people can please stay tuned for the next review, and I'm the Multi-Voice Reviewer. I remember so I can jog your memory.